Hi everyone, welcome back to a weekly reading vlog. I haven't done one of these, I think, since the end of September. So we're gonna see how it goes. Reading vlogs for me are quite interesting because I usually pressure myself to read more because I'm updating people on what I'm reading. But anyway, I thought I'd vlog this month because it's February and I'm reading romances, and last time I focused on romances I also vlogged it, although this month I'm not necessarily only focusing on romances because what you will probably see by the time this goes up is my February TBR. And the TBR gods did not necessarily work in my favour, but that's fine because it gave me a bit of options. However, it did also only choose library picks for me when I had ebook picks and physical picks for all of those prompts, but you know, it's fine. I'm currently listening to Binti, but I don't think that's going to be long because I think it's only 2 hours, so I may finish it by tonight. And I'm actually going to start this vlog, other than Binti, reading all the arcs I have. So I have an arc that comes out I think tomorrow and another one that comes out on Thursday. However, I am as part of a blog tour for a book for tomorrow, which is a little bit frustrating. I thought it'd be later in the month. So today, now I've done a couple of job applications, I'm just going to read that. I don't really know what I think about it so far. I should like it because kind of like feminist YA, but the character's really annoying me and I can't put my finger on why. I think it would be fine as a story, but I don't necessarily think I'll love it. It feels like one that would be better as a TV show or a film or something, but being in her head is just annoying. Anyway, so I have that to finish, and then I have 2 romances as arcs which will work out quite well. One is called Love in English and the other is called Before I Saw You, and I'm quite looking forward to that one. I've been looking forward to reading that for a while. And then after that I have, do I have another one? I do. I have one called While Paris Slept, which comes out in March, so that's less of a priority, but also I'd like to read it because otherwise I won't. But yeah, I just thought I'd come in, introduce it, say hi again, and yeah, I will check in once I have finished or started some books.
Right, you've just been on the M1? Yeah. Cool. You need to have a chat with me about your driving. Right. No worries.
My problem is you can either see I look tired or look swotty, so I'll go like that. Hi everyone, it's now Wednesday. I thought I'd check back in because I have done some reading. As I started this reading vlog, I had already started Binti. I have now finished that. It was very short, it was less than 100 pages, so I expected to finish it quite quickly. Also, it was an audiobook, so I could just put it on in the background and it'd be done in 2 hours. I quite enjoyed it. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it. I don't always have a lot of thoughts on short stories anyway because not a lot happens, especially in one that's less than 100 pages, but not a lot happens. And also an audiobook, so I don't want to say I didn't interact with it, but sometimes audiobooks I just put on in the background. But I thought Binti as a kind of sciencey, STEM-minded female character was quite interesting, so I liked her. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was easy to read, it was fine. And then I also finished Bad Habits by Flynn Meaney. I had this for a blog tour which went up yesterday, and I spent basically all of Monday reading it because I was like, I need to review it. And I have thoughts on it, and my main thought is, I think had I not been reading this for a blog tour, I would have hated it. But because I knew I had to review it, I was kind of trying to look for more positive things. But I spoke to someone else who was also on the blog tour, and she said that she hated it, and I'm like, oh, okay, me too. She asked someone if she could do a spotlight and they said yes, so that's what I ended up doing in the end. But it was just very frustrating. I was looking forward to it because it was going to be pro-feminism and Dairy Girls and Hollyborn, which are things I like, but I don't know. don't know what I hated. I don't know why I hated it, but I did. And it was really frustrating. And I think the main thing I hated was the fact that the main character was feminist in a very specific way. Like, she was just like, you must have all the sex you want, you must have purple hair, you must be really cool, you must like hate all the patriarchy, and just didn't pay any attention to the fact that other people might feel differently. She didn't seem to kind of take on the fact that feminism means different things to different people, and choosing not to have sex is as feminist a choice as choosing to have it. So that was a bit frustrating. But I don't know what I'd rate it. At the moment it's 2 stars, but I don't know if it will go down, because like I said, I was like searching for the positives, and I'll be like, oh, I'll rate it 3 stars, but I didn't really want to rate it 3 stars. I was just thinking I'll rate it 3 stars for a blog tour. But yeah, that was a bit frustrating, but I did have a good feminist chat about it. So now I have just picked up the audiobook for A Court of Mist and Fury, because I have it from the library and I've only got like 11 days left on the loan, and it's about 23 hours long, so I need to start on that. But I do also have the physical book should my like loan run out. And I've also started Before I Saw You by Emily Houghton. I'm about 13% of the way through it, and I want to say they haven't met, but that's the whole point. They haven't really interacted yet, and so I'm looking forward to it. But I'm just very disappointed. I look quite so tired. I think that's why I've not been looking at the camera. So bye guys. Oh, clean. Oh, hello. Hi everyone, so it's now Saturday and I thought I'd check in because I haven't for a couple of days. I've just been up to the yard, which is why I potentially look worn out and or cold, because I am both. It is very cold today. It might start snowing soon, so that'll be fun. But I thought I'd check in. 1, give you some reading updates, and 2, give you life updates, and 3, I mean, I haven't really got a lot of life updates, but 3, do a kind of book haul, which I shouldn't really be doing because I am on a low-key book buying ban, but I will explain. We'll just start with them. So my low-key book buying ban does allow me to buy books for book clubs, and so I brought The Twisted Tree by Rachel Burge, which is the Myth Take Reads book pick for January and February. Now I ordered this in January and then it got lost in the post. I finally got a refund on it, and so I had to reorder it, and it turned up on Monday or Tuesday, potentially Wednesday. It turned up at the beginning of the week, so I'm really excited to get to it. I might read it next after the book I'm currently reading. I think it's going to be really quick. I've heard lots of people say it's super quick, and it's only about 240 pages. It also looks like it's got some like little illustrations, which is quite cool. I don't really know what it's about. It's about a girl called Martha, and it has some Norse mythology influences, so I think it'll be quite quick, a little bit creepy, and quite interesting. Another book I got, I don't have an excuse for why I brought this one other than I wanted to, and also reasons. I do have reasons, but it is More Orgasms Please, Why Female Pleasure Matters by the Hotbed Collective. Now I brought this, one because I've wanted to read it for a while. I would quite like to learn more about female sexual pleasure, because like, I don't want to say you don't feel like a feminist if you don't know it, but like, I feel like I should know more about it as a feminist. So like, I picked it up, I've suggested it as like my book club pick, but also just I want to read it. But one of the reasons why I want to read it is because I'm writing more at the moment, and one of the characters I'm writing about, I will get to the writing part later. I'll do writing as well. Let's do writing as well. Basically, I'm reading at the moment. So last night you will have seen I did some drawing for a bit, then I did some writing, and then I did some reading. I'm trying to write 500 to 1,000 words every day, and I think it's worked out so far. There were only 3 days it didn't work out in January. Now that's because I started reading back one of my old projects, and then I got to the end of the old project when I was rewriting it and I didn't have enough to add, which is fine. But yeah, so I'm working on a new one at the moment, and one of the characters is a bisexual teacher. Now I'm writing her like a Christmas story at the moment where she falls in love with a lady, and that's fine. But then I had this idea of her leaving her old school. She does currently teach in a primary school, and I had an idea of her leaving the primary school and going off to a secondary school and becoming like a PSHE kind of teacher. So like I don't know how to describe it, the one who kind of does religion, all that extra stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere. And I quite like the idea of her doing that, and then not necessarily getting in trouble, but getting into controversy because she decides to teach some girls about sexual health, but actual sexual education, teaches them how to enjoy sex, how to actually be assertive in it and kind of things. But I don't really know enough about it to write a story on it. So I've got a list of about 6 or 7 books that I'd like to read, including this one. I just picked this one up because I could get it in the same order I did the other day. It was available then and there, and it's just been something I've wanted to read about for a while. It looks quite an interesting read, like it's not just all text. So yeah, I think that'll be really interesting. I'd like to read it now, but I have a lot of a TBR for the month. So then my final 2, well, not my final 2, I did order one more, but the other half of it hasn't turned up yet, so like I'll save that haul for next week probably, which isn't good. But the next 2 I have were actually sent to me by the publishers. So the first one is Ahead of Her Time by Judy Piaktus. I think it's about a woman who makes books, publishes books, who decided to start up her own publishers, and because I'm interested in publishing, I thought this would be really interesting, so I requested this. Did also request another one, and I have another one, but it's not the one I requested, so I don't know whether that one will turn up or whether they got confused and sent me this one, so I'm going to leave it another couple of days just in case it's got lost. But the other one they sent me was Living and Loving in the Age of AIDS, and it's a memoir, presumably about a guy who got AIDS in the 80s. Yep, I don't really know, but I think it'll be really interesting. Although it's not something I would have necessarily picked up and I didn't request it, I think it should be really interesting, and it will give me a kind of look into a part of history, part of the LGBT culture I haven't looked into myself but know about. So I think that'll be super interesting. So yeah, I do have a bit of a book haul, which is embarrassing. But like I said, I only spent money on these two, and this one's secondhand anyway, so I feel a little less bad. But in terms of reading, on Thursday night, I decided to start The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin for my Author of Colour physical prompt. Now, it was this or the sequel to The Kingdom of Souls, but that doesn't come out yet, and I wanted to start it, so I thought I'm going to read this. I can't remember all the details from the 5th season, but that's fine. It's easy enough to read. It's really pretty to read, and hopefully it won't take me too long. It is 400 pages long, so I don't think it's going to be quick, but I'm hoping I can read it kind of within the first 10 days of me having read it. It's not the first 10 days of the month, so hopefully by kind of like the middle of the month I will have read it. I don't know whether I'll pick this up in the meantime and kind of jump between them, but these are my main physical books I have to read. Then I finished Before I Saw You by Emily Houghton. I really liked it. It was very soft, it was very fluffy. I recommended it to Sam and he read it yesterday as well, all in one day. He had the audiobook, to be fair, but it was just lovely. I really enjoyed it. And the characters were really nice, and I think this has made me realise that, and Sam agreed, our favourite kind of romance trope is the falling in love before they meet, and they do meet, but they don't see each other, and it was just made me sad and made me happy, and is a bit of a dark book because of injuries and death and kind of things, so I'll link all the trigger warnings down below, but I really enjoyed it. Now I have started Loving English. I'm not sure who that's by, which is another arc. It came out at the start of the month, but I didn't get to it in time. I'm about 40% of the way through it, so I would have ideally have finished it tonight, but I don't think that will happen, so hopefully I'll finish it by tomorrow so I can kind of wrap them all up within the week. And I'm also 30% of the way through A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm really enjoying it. It's really interesting because I quite liked A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I was a bit like, I'm not worried about carrying on, but I will because I can get it from the library. And I'm really enjoying it. It's very fun. I like the characters. I like seeing a bit of the wider world, because obviously in A Court of Thorns and Roses we just see kind of a microcosm of the world, and so yeah, much more interesting, enjoying it a lot, and hopefully we'll have read a bit more to report next time. Also last night I was doing a bit of drawing, but you know, that's just a glimpse into my potential The Bone Season tarot cards, but they're not definitely being done, so enjoy the glimpse you've got, and I will check in if we get snow, and I will definitely finish this vlog tomorrow. Hi everyone, so I'm finishing this vlog about now. I will obviously check out with my final haul, which is embarrassing, but I couldn't check out last night because everyone was in bed when I came up, so we're quickly doing it in the morning and then I'll start tomorrow. But my final book haul is these two, which are the German copies of Priory, which I obviously can't read. Isn't that one just so pretty? And then I thought it would be weird to have one and not the other, not that I can read either of them, so both of them are weird, but they're very pretty. Ironically, this had already turned up when I filmed the rest of my haul, but apparently Mum and Dad decided to keep it on the table instead of, you know, giving it to me. What I love about this, because obviously I can't read it other than the cover, is the map, is the end pages. I think that's so cool. Also love the colour of the hardbacks of both of them, but especially this one. I don't think I've ever really seen a yellow hardback before, so that's really nice. I also like that because it's split in two parts. It's called The Magician and The Queen, and I think that's just lovely. I love it. So yeah, I have read a bit more. I finished Love in English last night. No, I finished it during the day. Probably rate it about 3.5 stars. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was quite a good, what's the word, love triangle, because I couldn't necessarily tell which way it was going to go. She has this like pretty American guy in her maths class that she likes, and there's also a presumably pretty, but you don't get told how pretty he is, Greek guy in her languages class who obviously also can't really speak English, and she bonds with both of them and they're really cute, and she kind of forms a, I want to say, a better understanding with the Greek guy because he also knows what she's going through, whereas the American guy, he folds these paper cranes for her or for his sister and he gives a couple to her, and it's very cute, and he really likes her. And I didn't know which way it was going to go. I had a feeling, but that was fine. It was kind of sad in the end. I was a little bit frustrated by how it played out, but I did enjoy it. I will probably review that today and or Friday, but I will at least write a Goodreads review. Probably since I last checked in, I've read about 50 more pages of the Obelisk Gate. What is it? This one. I was going to read about 50 chapters, Jesus Christ, about 50 pages last night, but I was just tired and I wasn't in the mood for it. I don't think that's it. I just was quite tired. It's quite a book you need to concentrate on, and I keep making the mistake of reading it late at night, but I thought I'd read it because I'd done my writing for the day early, but I didn't. I also picked up Madam by Phoebe Wynn yesterday. It's the final arc I have to read this month. I do have one that's due in March, but I thought I really want to pick something up, but I won't pick this up if I don't have to. So I got 17% of the way through that, which I think was about 70 pages. It seems alright. It's quite slow. Like, that's only 3 chapters. And I don't really care for it. It's, I think, dark academia, but I've not read any of that before. And I just don't really care for it so far, so I hope it picks up because obviously I've got to read and review it. But yeah, if you watched this far, thank you. I hope you enjoyed some of my ramblings. I promise I will read some actual romances next week because I haven't really thus far. And yeah, check in again next week to see what I think of the end of Madam, the end of A Court of Mist and Fury, other books I'm reading. If you enjoy this, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in another video. Bye. The worst thing about this is I know I've got another book on its way, although it's been stuck in America for 2 weeks and it hasn't moved, but now it's on a plane, I think. But I thought it was on a plane last time. But I also ordered 2 more books last week. Is that it? Maybe. But also we've got Valentine's Day coming up and I think Sam's gonna get me some.